Hey sales and marketing professionals, I bet you'd like more website traffic, but I bet you'd love more leads and customers coming through your website. I'm sure I don't need to tell you that an effective online marketing plan focuses on attracting your best buyer, but also turning them into leads and customers. Well, in this video, I'm going to pick up where we left off in the attract stage and show you how to convert more of your website visitors into leads, the tactics you need to use, the tools that are required, and I'll even share a schedule of events for your online marketing plan. In our last video, part 5, linked in the description below, we learned how to attract your best buyer to your website. And that's a great start, but unless we can turn an increasing number of those new website visitors into leads and customers, what's the point? Now, most manufacturers or B2B companies have historically relied upon their Contact Us form or RFQ form for lead generation. And unfortunately, for prospects that are in the awareness stage of their buyer's journey, that's a bit like a sleazy car salesman approach to getting them to turn into leads. So in this video, we're going to walk through ways to pick up with the educational content that we were providing in the attract stage to get them to your website and convert more of them into leads using what today's buyer really wants: help, support, and education. So let's start with a refresher of what we did in the attract stage of our online marketing plan. We started by creating a pillar page, a really comprehensive resource for people that are interested in a broad topic that we can support. We then followed that with weekly blog posts that were about subtopics of our pillar or core topic that we created for our pillar page. We executed the 10-4-1 rule where we're sharing 10 pieces of content for every 4 of our own and 1 landing page or conversion opportunity. And we also followed a ton of social media accounts that were relevant to our best buyer and to us to try and build our social reach. Now, our first conversion opportunity is going to come from that pillar page that we created. If you remember, that pillar page is a very, very long, comprehensive piece of content that's going to cover a ton of the common questions around that core topic. And if you recall from the last video, we were using the topic of plastic injection molding. And so people are going to find this pillar page and they're going to be reading it on their phone, their desktop, and they may not have the amount of time that they need to consume all of the content, or they may just love the resource and not want to lose it. So our first conversion opportunity to turn that visitor into a lead is to offer our pillar page as a downloadable or email it to themselves PDF. Now, this PDF is convenient for the visitor because it's going to allow them to share it with people, colleagues, friends. It's going to allow them to load it onto their Kindle. It's going to allow them to print it out so that they can read it in maybe a little more comfortable fashion. So we're adding value with our current pillar content to generate a lead. And you might be thinking, okay, well, we're giving them a PDF. How does this turn them into a lead? Well, in order for them to download the PDF, we're going to have them fill out a form in exchange for that PDF. And maybe we position it as, give us your email and your name and we'll email you a copy of this pillar content, which is a win-win, right? They get the resource that they wanted and we now have generated a lead. Premium content is another great option for lead generation. Much like the pillar page was just kind of adding value to that pillar page by making it downloadable through a PDF and in exchange for their email, we can also take topics around plastic injection molding and create premium content, things like ebooks, case studies, white papers, webinars, premium videos, things that take the topic a step further and take a little more effort on your part to produce, but it's also still very helpful educational content for our website visitors. So leveraging the example of the plastics manufacturer, you could probably produce an ebook that is a guide to planning your injection molded part, right? And that would be beneficial and relate to your plastic injection molding pillar page and your subtopics. So this would make a great next step potentially for your website visitor to download and turn into a lead in your database. And so it's important to take into consideration your pillar page and blog topics and make sure that you're planning premium offers around those topics. So make sure that they're relevant and that they tie into the buyer's journey stage that content is suited for. And that's really key. It's great to create premium content that's going to help your website visitor take the next step in their buyer's journey. So for example, if a visitor is consuming a pillar page, it's typically very awareness stage, right? You're answering all the top questions around a core topic. So it might not make sense to present them with a case study of how you successfully helped client A, B, or C. I would test that, obviously, because you might see success with it, but a more logical approach is to offer them premium content that's more awareness stage, or maybe is leading them into their consideration stage, comparing plastic injection molding to maybe powdered metal or some other option. But the idea here is you want to lead them through their buyer's journey, turning them into a lead at any stage that you can, and if they convert multiple times, even better. You have a better sense of what they're after, and you can nurture them along until they hopefully become a customer. For a refresher on the buyer's journey, check back to video 4 in this series where we walk through a manufacturing company that's trying to produce content for their buyer persona, an engineer at each stage of his or her buyer journey. So I'll link that in the description below. Hopefully you're starting to understand how we use educational, helpful content in the attract stage and the convert stage to both get them to your website and turn them into leads. And if you kind of conceptually understand how your best buyer hops on Google, does a search, ends up on your website, consuming some content, and then downloading something like a premium offer, an ebook, a webinar to turn into a lead, you're doing great. But you might be wondering, how does this all technically happen? So what are the tools and things that you need to make this work? A short answer is the HubSpot marketing tool set, and I could probably just leave it at that, but obviously there's a bunch of tools within that suite that you need to use to make this work. If you aren't quite ready for HubSpot, you can also use just your WordPress website with a series of plugins, something like Inbound Now, Gravity Forms, MailChimp. Those types of tools can be pieced together to achieve the same inbound marketing tool set, maybe not as integrated, as easy, and certainly not as easy to report on as HubSpot marketing, but it can be done. So there's a few pieces of the puzzle that we need to turn your website visitors into leads. Short list here: lead flows, calls to action or CTAs, landing pages, forms, thank you pages, and follow-up emails. Let's start with lead flows. So have you ever been to a website, you're reading the content, and all of a sudden it kind of gets grayed out and a little box pops up over top with an offer of some sort for you? Or maybe you're reading a website page and out of the bottom corner slides in a little box with an offer of some sort? Those are lead flows, and in some cases you might find them super annoying. In others, they can be very effective, and that usually comes down to context. So if we're on a website page and we're reading about a certain topic and an offer comes up that's not at all relevant, it's annoying. Now, if you're reading that same page and some sort of pop-up opens up or slides in that's offering you to continue your educational process, or hey, maybe that's even more of a refined answer to the question that I'm searching around, that's very valuable. Those are called lead flows. Now, you can use the HubSpot Marketing Free tool to generate lead flows, place them on certain pages. You can set up triggers for when they activate. So maybe as the user scrolls down the page so far, they get a pop over or a slide in, or maybe on exit intent if they are moving their mouse in a way that makes the system think that they're getting ready to X out. We could offer them something to keep them around a little bit longer. But the HubSpot Marketing Free tool set is a great way to kind of all-in-one show a CTA, that pop-up, for an offer, premium content, maybe to download the pillar page as a PDF or email it to yourself, along with a form built in submission to deliver the actual premium offer. Now, this can be done with other tools outside of the HubSpot suite, but I haven't found one yet that's as easy and as intuitive, and the Marketing Free platform allows it from HubSpot, so why wouldn't you use it? Now, the other pieces I mentioned earlier all work in tandem to turn a website visitor into a lead. And so to get the attention of somebody who's landed on your blog post and is reading through, we use what's called a call to action, or CTA, which is essentially a graphic or a button that links to a page, and it alerts the user, the graphic or button alerts the user that they have an option there to download a premium offer of some sort. So we're directing the user to take the next step that we want them to take. Like, technically, at the very base level, it's literally just a button or an image that links to a landing page where the visitor can enter their contact information, read about this offer, and see if it's something that they want, and ultimately download the premium offer. And when we talk about landing pages and forms, let's start with the landing page. A landing page is as simple as a page on your website. Now, it's a little different in that it doesn't have a top navigation bar. It usually will have a logo that will be linkable back to your home page, but the focus of this page is to keep the website visitor there learning about the premium offer that you're trying to get them to download, and then also providing them a form that they can enter in their contact details, click submit, and get this premium offer. So if we're using the pillar page example from earlier, we had a CTA button throughout the pillar page that said, hey, click here to email this to yourself as a PDF. So they click that, they land on the landing page, they read all of the value, add it to your Kindle, email it to your friends, download and print out this PDF version of the pillar content, and all you have to do is give us your email address and we'll send it to you. So that's the purpose of a landing page, is promoting that premium offer or getting them to take the next step. So it includes a form so they can provide their details and click submit. And a little bit about the form. So depending on what stage of the buyer's journey your premium offer is targeted at, you probably want to ask for different amounts of information. So for this pillar page, which is typically very awareness stage, you're probably going to ask for something minimal like their company email address and first and last name, maybe optionally ask for their company name, and most people will leave that off. Something that's more decision stage, like a case study or a testimonial video that they want access to, or an RFQ, you obviously need to ask for more information at that point to set yourself up for success in your sales process. But I will tell you, the more information you ask for on that form, the fewer people will fill it out. So even if they're optional, if they're presented with a form that has 12 questions on it versus a form that has 2 questions or 3 questions on it, your conversion rate is going to go way down on that landing page, okay? So just keep in mind that if it's an awareness stage offer, while it might be valuable to get as much information as you can, or you might want to get as much information as you can, you have to think in terms of the mindset at that stage of your persona's buyer's journey. Are they willing to share a phone number with you when they just are trying to learn? Probably not. Save that for later, or use something that HubSpot Marketing provides, progressive profiling. So if they download something in the awareness stage, ask them for their name and their email address. They come back, they download something that's more consideration stage, ask them for their company name and their phone number instead of the other 2. So you're building a profile of this lead in your CRM using the HubSpot Marketing platform. So what happens when this website visitor clicks the submit button on your form to request their PDF or their premium offer? Well, step 1 is your button submission should send that lead's contact information into your CRM. HubSpot Marketing has a CRM built in with it. It's the foundation of all of the HubSpot tools, and their CRM is also free. So that's a great tool to use. Once their data has been put into your CRM, a notification needs to be sent to the appropriate people on your team, right? The last thing we want to do is generate a lead and have nobody know about it. So an email notification of some sort should be sent out to either your sales team or marketing to further qualify this lead and see if sales should talk to them. Next, an automatic email should be sent to this website visitor, now this lead, with a link to the offer that they downloaded and a thank you message. Maybe following up, if it's a personal text-based email that you're sending to them, following up a little bit and saying, thanks for downloading this XYZ offer. If you have any questions, here's my contact information. I'd be happy to help you out. And then finally, we need to redirect this lead from the submission form to the thank you page. And on the thank you page, we're also going to provide, a thank you message and a link to the resource that they downloaded or that they requested. We also have an opportunity here to kind of upsell them on another content offer. So if you've got more than one premium offer in your marketing tool set, show them a CTA to one that maybe makes sense as a next step in their buyer's journey. Maybe it's a consideration stage offer, a decision stage offer. Whatever you have, again, ready and available in your content marketing tool set, put it there and see if we can take them through their buyer's journey a little bit faster. I just recently did a video on how inbound marketing turns website visitors into leads, and I'll link that in the description below so you can watch that and kind of see an example of a manufacturing company and how a buyer could visit Google, search for something, find them, click the CTA, go through the landing page, and get follow-up emails after the fact. So I'll link that in the description below. Now, as I've alluded to several times in this video, the HubSpot Marketing Suite is probably the most intuitive and easy way to set up this methodology, the inbound marketing methodology for yourself. You can certainly rely on WordPress with plugins and things. It's just not going to be as step-by-step, and it's certainly not going to be as easy to measure results, where the HubSpot tool set will show you things like your click-through rate on all of your CTAs and how that relates to your conversion rate on your landing pages, and all of the general website metrics. It's a little tougher when you're piecemealing other suites together because the data is just not all integrated. So I'd highly recommend taking a look at the HubSpot marketing suite if at all possible. Okay, much like the attract stage of the online marketing plan, we're going to lay out a few months of to-dos. What are your deliverables for month 1, 2, and 3 with this convert stage of your online marketing plan? Well, step 1, in month 1, once you're done with your pillar page, you have to turn it into a PDF. Use Microsoft Word or Google Docs to copy and paste your content into there. Pretty it up a little bit. It does not have to be a work of art. Make sure your brand is obviously easily identifiable in the content. Turn it into a PDF. Next, you need to set up a landing page using whatever tool set you have at your disposal with a form that's going to promote the value of this pillar content and how easy it will be for them to email this to themselves as a PDF, what they can do with it, read it on their Kindle, share it with colleagues, print it out, all of the key selling points. You'll also need to set up a thank you page so that you can deliver the PDF to them and hopefully upsell them with another piece of content. You also want to have an integration set up with your CRM. So again, if you're using the HubSpot free one with lead flows or some other thing, it'll automatically integrate and be much easier. You'll also want to have notifications set up for your internal team so they know when leads are coming through, can further qualify them or pick up the phone and just see if they can add any value or help. Once those pieces are done, you need to create a call to action, CTA, to place on the pillar page and any relevant website pages where it might be valuable for your visitor to grab a copy of this pillar content or whatever premium offer you're promoting. And then finally, you should set up a lead flow. So a way for your website visitors to land on, again, relevant content and enter their email address in exchange for this premium offer, whatever it happens to be. If it's the pillar page that you're focusing on, use that. If it's another ebook or guide, use that. So in month 2, all of the blog posts that we're creating in the attract stage need to have a CTA placed on them to download our premium offer, the pillar PDF or another guide, whatever you're offering. You should also promote this in social a couple times, a direct link to the actual landing page. You're going to do the same exact thing in month 3. And be sure that in months 2 and months 3, you're taking a look at your lead flow and you're testing what works best. So I would say after a month or 2, take a look at, does exit intent for the lead flow work better than a slide in or a popover after a certain scroll distance on the page or a certain amount of time? Start to try and do a little bit of testing. The data is going to be limited, but you can probably yield some insights. So hopefully this really clarified for you how you take the attract stage, bring them into your website, and then by adding value and educational content, you can turn them into leads without having to shove the request a quote or contact us form in their face, which again, 90% of your website visitors are not going to be ready to complete. So if you like this video, click the thumbs up. I recommend subscribing below. The next video we're going to talk about how we take these leads and we nurture them along through their buyer's journey until they're ready to become customers. So you don't want to miss that. Subscribe below, give us a thumbs up if you like it. If you have any questions, leave us a comment below. Thanks.